Matthew chapter 1. The following is the ancestral birth scroll of Jesus, the Anointed One, the son of David, the son of Abraham. Abraham caused the birth of Isaac. Isaac caused the birth of Jacob. Jacob caused the birth of Judah and his brothers. Judah caused the birth of Pharez and Zerah by Tamar. Pharez caused the birth of Hezron. Hezron caused the birth of Aram. Aram caused the birth of Amminadab. Amminadab caused the birth of Nahshon. Nahshon caused the birth of Salmon. Salmon caused the birth of Boaz by Rahab. Boaz caused the birth of Obed by Ruth. Obed caused the birth of Jesse. Jesse caused the birth of King David. David caused the birth of Solomon by the wife of Uriah. Solomon caused the birth of Rehoboam. Rehoboam caused the birth of Abiah. Abiah caused the birth of Asa. Asa caused the birth of Jehoshaphat. Jehoshaphat caused the birth of Jehoram. Jehoram caused the birth of Uzziah. Uzziah caused the birth of Jotham. Jotham caused the birth of Ahaz. Ahaz caused the birth of Hezekiah. Hezekiah caused the birth of Manasseh. Manasseh caused the birth of Amos. Amos caused the birth of Josiah. Josiah caused the birth of Jeconiah and his brothers during the Babylonian exile. After the Babylonian exile, Jeconiah caused the birth of Shealtiel. Shealtiel caused the birth of Zerubbabel. Zerubbabel caused the birth of Abiud. Abiud caused the birth of Eliakim. Eliakim caused the birth of Azor. Azor caused the birth of Zadok. Zadok caused the birth of Achim. Achim caused the birth of Eliud. Eliud caused the birth of Eleazar. Eleazar caused the birth of Mathan. Mathan caused the birth of Jacob. Jacob caused the birth of Joseph, the husband of Mary, out of whom was born Jesus, who is called the Anointed One. So then, all the generations from Abraham to David are 14 generations, and from David to the Babylonian exile are 14 generations, and from the Babylonian exile to the Anointed One are 14 generations. Now, the birth of Jesus, the Anointed One, was like this. After his mother Mary's engagement of marriage to Joseph, but before they came together, she was found to be pregnant by the pure Spirit. Joseph, her husband, being just and not willing to hold her up to disgrace, intended to dismiss her in a manner escaping notice. But while he was brooding over these things, notice, a messenger from the Master appeared to him in a dream, and said, Joseph, son of David, you must not be afraid to accept Mary your wife, because what is conceived in her is from the pure Spirit. Now she will give birth to a son, and you will call his name Jesus, or Yahweh Savior, for he will save his people from their wrongdoings. Now this whole thing has occurred so that what was declared by the Master through the prophet might be fulfilled, saying, Notice, the virgin woman will be pregnant, and will give birth to a son, and they will call his name Emmanuel. Isaiah 7, verse 14, which after translation from Hebrew means, Almighty with us. Now Joseph got up from his sleep, and did as the messenger from the Master had prescribed to him, and he accepted his wife. But he didn't know her sexually until she had given birth to a son, and he called his name Jesus. Matthew chapter 2. Now when Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea, during the days when Herod was king, notice, scientists from the east came along into Jerusalem, saying, Where is the one who was given in birth as King of the Jews? for we noticed his star in the east, and we have come to worship him." Now when King Herod heard this, he was disturbed, and all Jerusalem with him. So after he had gathered all the chief priests and Bible scholars of the people, he began quizzing them about where the Anointed One was to be born. Now they said to him, "In Bethlehem of Judea, for it has been written like this through the prophet, Now you, Bethlehem, land of Judah, are in no respect least among the governors of Judah. For out of you will come forward the governor, who will shepherd my people Israel." Micah 5 verse 2. Then, in a manner escaping notice, Herod called the scientists and determined accurately from them the time of the star's appearance. Then he sent them to Bethlehem and said, "You must go and inquire accurately about the little boy. Now if you find him, you must report it to me, so that I too might come and worship him." Now those who heard the king went, and notice the star that they had noticed in the east kept preceding them, until it went and stood over where the little boy was. Now when they noticed the star, they rejoiced with great joy tremendously. Then, when they went into the house, they noticed the little boy and his mother Mary, and they fell down and worshipped him. Then they opened their treasures and brought him presents of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Then, when they were given notice by Almighty in a dream not to go back to Herod, they departed into their own country through another way. Now after they had departed into their country, notice a messenger from the Master appeared to Joseph in a dream, and said, "When you get up, you must take along the little boy and his mother, and must run away into Egypt, and must stay there until I speak to you, for Herod is about to seek the little boy to destroy him." Now when he got up, he took along the little boy and his mother by night, and departed into Egypt. He was there until Herod completed his life, so that what was declared by the Master through the prophet might be fulfilled, saying, "I called my son out of Egypt." Hosea 11 verse 1. Then, when Herod noticed that he had been mocked by the scientists, he was very enraged, and dispatching orders, he did away with all the boys in Bethlehem and in all its boundaries, from 2 years old and below, according to the time that he had determined accurately from the scientists. Then what was declared through the prophet Jeremiah was fulfilled, saying, "A sound was heard in Ramah, weeping, and much expression of pain. It was Rachel weeping over her children, and she wouldn't be encouraged, because they were no more." Jeremiah 31 verse 15. Now, when Herod completed his life, notice, a messenger from the Master appeared in a dream to Joseph in Egypt, and said, "When you get up, you must take along the little boy and his mother, and must go into the land of Israel. For those who are seeking the little boy's sentient being, life, are dead." Now when he got up, he took along the little boy and his mother, and entered into the land of Israel. Yet when he heard that Archelaus was reigning in Judea, in place of his father Herod, he was afraid to go ahead to there. Now after he had been given notice by Almighty in a dream, he departed into parts of Galilee. Then he went and made a home in a city called Nazareth, so that what was declared through the prophets might be fulfilled, that he would be called a Nazarene, which means branch or sprout. Isaiah 11 verse 1. Matthew chapter 3. Now during those days John the Immerser came along, proclaiming in the wasteland of Judea, saying, You must be changing your thoughts and feelings, for the heavenly kingdom is already drawing near. For this is the one about whom it was declared through the prophet Isaiah, saying, The voice of one crying out in the wasteland, You must make ready the road of the Master. You must be making his highways straight. Isaiah 40, verse 3. Now John himself had on clothes of camel's hair, and a wide leather belt around his waist, and his nourishment was locusts, Leviticus 11, verse 22, and wild honey. Then Jerusalem was going out to him, and all Judea, and all the country around the Jordan River. And they were being immersed in the Jordan River by him, confessing their wrongdoings. Now when he noticed many of the Pharisees and Sadducees coming to his immersion, he said to them, You offspring of poisonous viper snakes, who suggested to you to run away from the anger that is going to come? So then, you must produce fruit worthy of a change in thoughts and feelings. You must not presume that you can say among yourselves, We have Abraham for a father. For I say to you that Almighty is able to wake up children for Abraham out of these stones. Yet the axe is already lying at the roots of the trees. So then, every tree that isn't producing ideal fruit is going to be chopped down and thrown into the fire. This is symbolic of the destroying fire of the second death. Revelation 20, verses 14 through 15. I am immersing you in water, because of a change in thoughts and feelings. Yet the one who is coming after me is stronger than I am. His sandals I'm not fit enough to carry. He will immerse you in the pure spirit and in fire. His winnowing shovel in his hand, and he will thoroughly cleanse his threshing floor, and will gather his grain into his barn. Yet he will burn up the chaff with an unextinguished fire. This is symbolic of the destroying fire of the second death. Then Jesus came along from Galilee to the Jordan River, to John, to be immersed by him. Yet John tried to prohibit him, saying, I need to be immersed by you, and you are coming to me? Yet in response, Jesus said to him, You must let it be so at this present time, for this is how it is proper for us to fulfill everything that is right and just. Then he let him. Now after Jesus was immersed, he immediately went up from the water, and noticed the heavens were opened up to him, and he noticed Almighty Spirit descending like a dove, and coming upon him. Now notice, there was a voice out of the heavens saying, This is my dearly loved Son, with whom I am delighted. Matthew chapter 4. Then Jesus was led up into the wasteland by the Spirit, to be tested by the adversary, Satan. After he had fasted for 40 days and 40 nights, he later was hungry. Now the tester approached and said to him, If you are Almighty's Son, tell these stones to become biscuits. Yet in response he said, It has been written, A human must not be living upon biscuits alone, but upon every declaration that comes out of Almighty's mouth. Deuteronomy 8, verse 3. Then the adversary, Satan, took him along into the pure city, Jerusalem, and stood him on the wing of the sacred place. Then he said to him, If you are Almighty's Son, throw yourself down, for it has been written, His messengers will be directed concerning you. Musical Composition 91, verse 11. And they will lift you upon their hands, so that you should not at any time strike your foot against a stone. Musical Composition 91, verse 12. Jesus affirmed to him, "Again, it has been written, you must not put the Master your Almighty to the test." Deuteronomy 6, verse 16. Again, the adversary, Satan, took him along onto a very high mountain, and showed him all the kingdoms of the world, and their esteem. Now he said to him, "I will give you all of these, if you fall down and worship me." Then Jesus said to him, "Go away, Satan, the adversary, for it has been written, you must be worshiping the Master your Almighty, and must be offering divine service to only Him." Deuteronomy 6, verse 13. Then the adversary, Satan, left him, and notice, messengers approached and began waiting on him. Now when he heard that John had been delivered over, or arrested, he departed into Galilee. After he left Nazareth, he went and made a home in Capernaum, which is beside the sea, in the boundaries of Zebulun and Naphtali, so that what was declared through the prophet Isaiah might be fulfilled, saying, "Land of Zebulun and land of Naphtali, along the sea road, on the other side of the Jordan River, Galilee of the pagans. The people sitting in darkness noticed a great light, and to those sitting in the province and shadow of death, a light has risen for them." Isaiah 9, verses 1 through 2. From that time, Jesus began to proclaim and say, "You must be changing your thoughts and feelings, for the heavenly kingdom is already drawing near." Now as he walked beside the Sea of Galilee, Lake Gennesaret, he noticed two brothers, Simon, called Peter, and his brother Andrew, throwing a throw net into the sea, for they were fishermen. Then he said to them, "You must come on after me, and I will make you fishermen of humans." Now they immediately left their nets and followed him. Then he advanced from there and noticed two other brothers, James, Zebedee's son, and John, his brother, in the ship with their father Zebedee, mending their nets, and he called them. Now they immediately left the ship and their father, and followed him. Then Jesus was leading them around all over Galilee, teaching in their assemblies, proclaiming the good message about the kingdom, and curing every disease and ailment among the people. Now the news that was heard about him went ahead into all of Syria, and they brought to him everyone who had an illness, persons with various diseases and pressing tortures, persons possessed by demons, persons with epilepsy, and persons that were paralyzed, and he cured them. Great crowds followed him from Galilee, the 10 cities region of Decapolis, Jerusalem, Judea, and from the other side of the Jordan River. Matthew chapter 5. Now when he noticed the crowds, he ascended onto the mountain, and after he sat down, his students came to him. Then he opened his mouth and began teaching them, saying, "Happy are those who are poor in spirit," or humble, because the heavenly kingdom belongs to them. Isaiah 57, verse 15. Happy are those who are mourning now, because they will be encouraged. Isaiah 61, verse 2. Happy are those who are unassumingly gentle, because they will inherit the earth. Musical composition 37, verse 11. Happy are those who are hungry and thirsty to be doing things that are right and just, because they will be satisfied. Isaiah 55, verses 1 through 2. Happy are those who are merciful, because they will be shown mercy. Musical composition 18, verse 25. Happy are those who are clean in their hearts, because they will see Almighty. Musical Composition 24, verses 3 through 4. Happy are those who are doing peaceful things, or pacifists, because they will be called Almighty's sons, meaning they are like Almighty. Happy are those who have been persecuted, because they are doing things that are right and just, because the heavenly kingdom belongs to them. Happy are you whenever they reproach you, and persecute you, and say every wicked thing against you falsely, on account of me. You must be rejoicing and celebrating, because your wages are going to be a great amount in the heavens. For this is how they persecuted the prophets before you. You are the salt, a flavoring and preserving substance of the earth. Yet if the salt becomes tasteless, how can it become salty again? It doesn't still have strength for anything, except to be thrown outside, on the road, and trampled by humans. You are the light of the world. A city located upon a mountain can't be hidden. Neither do they burn a lamp and place it under a peck-sized container, but on a lampstand, and it shines to all those in the house. This is how you must let your light shine in front of humans, so that they might notice your ideal acts and esteem your Father who is in the heavens. You must not surmise that I came to demolish the law or the prophets. I didn't come to demolish, but to fulfill. For truly I say to you, until heaven and the earth pass away, not one iota, the smallest Hebrew letter, or one serif, the smallest part of an alphabetic letter, will by any means pass away from the law, until everything has occurred. So then, whoever annuls one of the least of these directions and teaches humans to do like this will be called the least in the heavenly kingdom. Yet whoever does and teaches them will be called great in the heavenly kingdom. For I say to you, unless the things that you are doing that are right and just are abundantly more than those of the Bible scholars and Pharisees, by no means will you enter into the heavenly kingdom. You have heard that it was declared to the ancient ones, you must not murder, and whoever murders will be liable to the judgment court. Yet I say to you that whoever is angry with his brother or sister will be liable to the judgment court. And whoever says to his brother or sister, Raka, Jewish for you stupid person, will be liable to the Jewish council. Yet whoever says, you stupid person, will be liable to the Gehenna of fire. This is symbolic of the destroying fire of the second death. Revelation 20, verses 14 through 15. So then, if you are offering your present on the altar, and there you remember that your brother or sister has something against you, you must leave your present there in front of the altar, and must go away. You must first be reconciled to your brother or sister, and then you must come and be offering your present. You must be agreeable with the person bringing suit against you quickly, while you are with him on the way, so that at no time shall the person bringing suit against you deliver you over to the judge, and the judge to the assistant deputy, such that you will be thrown into jail. Truly I say to you, by no means shall you come out of that place until you have paid the last number 2 Roman coin. You have heard that it was declared, you must not have extramarital sexual intercourse. Yet I say to you, whoever looks at a woman to desire her has already had extramarital sexual intercourse with her in his heart. Now if your right eye is causing you to trip, you must yank it out and throw it away from you, for it causes you improvement that one of the parts of your body should be destroyed, and not that your whole body should be thrown into Gehenna. This is symbolic of the destroying fire of the second death. If your right hand is causing you to trip, you must chop it off and throw it away from you, for it causes you improvement that one of the parts of your body should be destroyed, and not that your whole body should pass away into Gehenna. This is symbolic of the destroying fire of the second death. Now it has been declared, whoever dismisses his wife must give her a divorce. Yet I say to you, whoever dismisses his wife outside of a case of non-marital sexual intercourse, Deuteronomy 24 verse 1, is going to cause her to have extramarital sexual intercourse. And whoever marries the person who has been dismissed is having extramarital sexual intercourse. Again, you have heard that it was declared to the ancient ones, you must not be breaking your oaths, but must pay back your oaths to the master. Yet I say to you, to absolutely not promise with an oath, neither by heaven, because it is the throne of Almighty, nor by the earth, because it is the footstool for his feet, nor by Jerusalem, because it is the city of the great King, nor by your head must you promise with an oath, because you aren't able to make one hair white or black. Yet you must be continually letting your word yes be just yes, and your no be just no. Now anything in excess of these is from the wicked one, Satan. You have heard that it was declared, an eye for an eye, and a tooth for a tooth. Yet I say to you, to not stand up against a wicked person. Rather, whoever slaps you on your right cheek, you must turn the other one to him also. Also, whoever wants to sue you and obtain your gown, you must leave him your outer garment also. Also, whoever would force you into service for 1 mile, you must go with him for 2. When someone is requesting something from you, you must give it. Also, when someone is wanting to borrow something from you, you must not turn him away. You have heard that it was declared, you must be loving your neighbor, and must be hating your enemy. Yet I say to you, you must be continually loving your enemies, and you must be continually praying for those who are persecuting you, so that you might be sons of your Father, meaning you are like him, who is in the heavens, because he causes his sun to rise on those who are wicked and those who are good, and makes it rain on those who are just and those who are unjust. For if you love those who are loving you, what wages do you have? Aren't the tribute or tax collectors also doing the same? Now, if you greet only your brothers, what are you doing that is abundant? Aren't the pagans also doing the same? So then, you must be continually complete, just like your heavenly Father is being continually complete. Matthew chapter 6. Yet you must be continually paying attention not to be doing your right and just things in front of humans, in order to be gazed at by them. Otherwise, you will definitely have no wages with your Father who is in the heavens. So then, whenever you are making merciful donations, you must not be blowing a trumpet in front of you, just like the hypocrites are doing in the assemblies and in the streets, so that they might be esteemed by humans. Truly I say to you, they are collecting their wages. Yet you, when you are making merciful donations, must not let your left hand know what your right is doing, so that your merciful donations might be done in hiding, and your Father who is observing what is being done in hiding will pay you. Whenever you are praying, You must not be like the hypocrites, because they are fond of standing in the assemblies and at the corners of the town squares to pray, so that they might appear to humans. Truly I say to you, they are collecting their wages. Yet whenever you are praying, you must enter into your storeroom, and locking the door, you must pray to your Father who is in hiding. And your Father who is observing what is being done in hiding will pay you. Now when you are praying, you must not use needless repetitions, just like the pagans. For they have the impression that they will be heard by using many words. So then, you must not be like them, for your Father is aware of what you are needing before you request Him for it. So then, this is how you must be praying. Our Father who is in the heavens, your name, Jesus, must be held pure. Your kingdom must come. What you want must be done on earth, just like it is in heaven. Give us today our biscuit for the coming day. Forgive us our debts, as we also have forgiven our debtors. Don't bring us into testing, but rescue us from the wicked one, Satan. For if you forgive humans their offenses, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. Yet if you don't forgive humans their offenses, neither will your Father forgive your offenses. Now whenever you are fasting, you must stop having sad features like the hypocrites, for they disfigure their faces to appear to humans to be fasting. Truly I say to you, they are collecting their wages. Yet when you are fasting, you must rub your head with oil and wash your face, so that you don't appear to humans to be fasting, but to your Father who is in hiding. And your Father who is observing what is being done in hiding will pay you. You must stop storing up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moth and corrosion are causing them to disappear, and where thieves are tunneling and stealing. Yet you must be continually storing up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor corrosion are causing them to disappear, and where thieves are not tunneling nor stealing. For wherever your treasure is, there is where your heart will be also. The eye is the lamp of the body. So then, if your eye is steady, your whole body will be full of light. But if your eye is wicked, or sick, your whole body will be dark. So then, if that light in you is darkness, how dense is that darkness? No one can be slaving for two masters, for either he will hate one and love the other, or will uphold one and despise the other. You can't be slaving for almighty and monetary wealth. For this reason I say to you, you must stop worrying about your sentient being, as to what you shall eat, or what you shall drink, or even about your body, as to what you shall put on. Isn't the sentient being more than nourishment, and the body more than clothes? You must look at the birds of the sky. They don't plant seeds or harvest, or gather food into barns, and yet your heavenly Father is nourishing them. Aren't you of more consequence than they? Now which one of you, by worrying, can add on 1 cubit length or step of 18 inches to his maximum development in age? Why do you worry about clothes? You must study the wildflowers of the field, how they grow. They don't labor or spin. Yet I say to you, not even Solomon in his esteem was clothed like one of these. Now if this is how Almighty dresses the grass of the field that is here today, but tomorrow is thrown into the stove, won't He more importantly do it for you, you of little faith? So then, You must not worry, saying, "What shall we eat?" Or, "What shall we drink?" Or, "What shall we be clothed?" For the pagans are continually seeking after all these things. For your heavenly Father is aware that you are needing all these things. Yet you must first be continually seeking His kingdom, and the things that are right and just according to Him, and all these things will be added to you. So then, you must not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has sufficient badness of its own. Matthew chapter 7. You must stop judging others, so that you shall not be judged. For that judgment which you are using to judge others, it will be used to judge you. And that measure which you are using to measure others, it will be used as a measure for you. Now why do you observe the speck in your brother's eye, or your sister's eye, and yet don't consider the beam in your own eye? Or how can you declare to your brother, "Brother, you must let me extract the speck out of your eye," and notice, the beam is in your own eye? You hypocrite! You must first extract the beam out of your own eye, and then you will be able to observe clearly enough to extract the speck out of your brother's eye. You must not give whatever is pure to wild dogs, and you must not throw your pearls in front of hogs, so that they won't at any time trample them with their feet, and then turn and tear into you. You must be continually requesting, and it will be given to you. You must be continually seeking, and you will find it. You must be continually knocking, and the door will be opened to you. For whoever is continually requesting something is going to obtain it, and whoever is continually seeking for something is going to find it. And when someone is continually knocking, the door will be opened. Or what human is there among you, if his son requests a biscuit, would hand him a stone? Or if he also requests a fish, would hand him a snake? So then, if you, even though you are wicked, are aware of how to give good gifts to your children, how much more will your Father who is in the heavens give good things to those requesting things from Him? So then, everything that you want humans to be doing for you, this is what you must also be continually doing for them. For this is the law and the prophets. You must enter through the narrow gate, because wide is the gate, and spacious is the way that leads to destruction, in the coming fire of the second death. Revelation 20, verses 14 through 15. And there are many who are entering through it. Yet what a narrow gate, and how oppressive is the way that leads to life in the last age, and there are few who are finding it. You must be continually paying attention to those false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, yet inside are preying wolves. You must be continually recognizing them by their fruits. Grapes aren't culled from thorn bushes, or figs from thistles, are they? So too, every good tree makes ideal fruit, yet the rotten tree makes wicked fruit. A good tree can't produce wicked fruit, nor can a rotten tree produce ideal fruit. Every tree that isn't making ideal fruit is going to be chopped down and thrown into the fire. This is symbolic of the destroying fire of the second death. Therefore, you must definitely be continually recognizing them by their fruits. Not everyone who says to me, "Master, Master," will enter into the heavenly kingdom. Rather, it is the person who is continually doing what is wanted by my Father who is in the heavens. Many will declare to me on that day, 'Master, Master, didn't we prophesy in your name, and throw out demons in your name, and do many powerful works in your name?' Then I will acknowledge to them, 'I never knew you. Depart from me, you workers of lawlessness.' So then, everyone who is continually hearing these words of mine, and is continually doing them, will be like an intelligent man, who built his house on the bedrock. Then the rain descended, and the rivers came, and the winds blew and lunged at that house, but it didn't fall, for it had its foundation on the bedrock. Now everyone who is hearing these words of mine, and isn't continually doing them, will be like the stupid man who built his house on sand. Then the rain descended, and the rivers came, and the winds blew and struck against that house, and it fell, and its fall was great." Then it occurred, when Jesus had completed these words, that the crowds were astonished at his teaching, for he was teaching them like one who had authority, and not like their Bible scholars. Matthew chapter 8. Now as he descended from the mountain, great crowds followed him. Now notice, a leper came to him and worshipped him, saying, "Master, if you are willing, you can make me clean." Now he stretched out his hand and touched him, saying, "I'm willing, be made clean." Then immediately his leprosy was made clean. Then Jesus said to him, "You must see that you tell no one about this, but you must go and show yourself to the priest, and take the present that Moses has prescribed as a testimony to them." Now as he entered into Capernaum, Jesus' hometown, a captain came to him, encouraging him and saying, "Master, my servant boy has been laid in the house, a paralyzed person who is dreadfully tortured." So he said to him, "I will come and cure him." Then, in response, the captain affirmed, "Master, I'm not fit enough to have you enter under my roof, but only say the word, and my servant boy will be healed. For I'm also a human set under authority, having soldiers under me, and I say to this one, 'Go,' and he goes, and to another, 'Come,' and he comes, and to my slave, 'Do this,' and he does it." Now when Jesus heard this, he marveled and said to those following him, "Truly I say to you, I haven't found anyone in Israel with so much faith. Now I say to you, many from the east and the west will arrive and recline at the table with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob in the heavenly kingdom. Yet the sons of the kingdom, the natural heirs, the Israelites, will be thrown out into the outer darkness, where there will be weeping and grinding of teeth." Then Jesus said to the captain, "Go, it must occur for you like you have believed." Now the boy was healed during that hour. Then, when Jesus came into Peter's home, he noticed that his mother-in-law had been laid down and had a fever. So he touched her hand, and the fever left her. Then she woke up and began waiting on him. Now when evening, 6 to 9 p.m. had come, they brought to him many persons possessed by demons, and he threw out the spirits with a word, and cured all those who had an illness, so that what was declared through the prophet Isaiah might be fulfilled, saying, "He took our weaknesses and carried our diseases." Isaiah 53 verse 4. Now when Jesus noticed the great crowds around him, he gave orders to go away to the other side of Lake Gennesaret. Then one Bible scholar approached and said to him, "Teacher, I will follow you wherever you might go." Then Jesus said to him, "The foxes have burrows, and the birds of the sky have roosts, yet the Son of Humanity has nowhere to recline his head." Now a different one of the students said to him, "Master, you must permit me to first go away and bury my father." Yet Jesus said to him, "You must be continually following me, and must leave it to the dead to bury their own dead." Then when he stepped into the ship, his students followed him. Now notice, a great quaking occurred in the sea, Lake Gennesaret, so that the ship was covered by the waves. Yet he was laying down asleep. So they approached and woke him up, saying, "Master, save us! We are being destroyed." Now he said to them, "Why are you cowards, you of little faith?" Then he got up and rebuked the winds and the sea, and it became very calm. Now the humans marveled, saying, "What kind of person is this, that even the winds and the sea obey him?" Now when he came to the other side of Lake Gennesaret, to the country of the Gergesenes, 2 persons possessed by demons, who were coming out of the tombs, met him. They were very savage, so that no one was strong enough to pass by on that road. Now notice, they yelled out, saying, "What do you want with us, Son of Almighty? Did you come here to torture us before that time period?" Now there was a herd of many hogs grazing a distance away from them. Now the demons began encouraging him, saying, "If you throw us out, dispatch us into the herd of hogs." Now he said to them, "Go." Now they came out and went away into the hogs, and notice, the entire herd rushed over the cliff into the sea and died in the waters. Now those who were tending the grazing animals ran away and went away to the city and reported everything, and the things about the persons who had been possessed by demons. So notice, the entire city went out to meet with Jesus, and when they noticed him, they encouraged him to proceed from their boundaries. Matthew chapter 9. So he stepped into a ship and went across to the other side of Lake Gennesaret, and went to his own city, Capernaum, Matthew 4, verse 13. Now notice, they were bringing to him a paralyzed person, who had been laid on a couch. Now when Jesus noticed their faith, he said to the paralyzed person, "You must have courage, child, your wrongdoings are forgiven." Now notice, some of the Bible scholars said among themselves, "This person is slandering." Then, when Jesus noticed how they felt, he said, "Why are you brooding wickedness in your hearts? For which is easier to say, 'Your wrongdoings are forgiven,' or to say, 'Get up and walk'? Yet so that you might notice that the Son of Humanity has authority on earth to forgive wrongdoings." He then said to the paralyzed person, "Get up, pick up your couch, and go to your house." Then he got up and went away to his house. Now when the crowds noticed it, they were afraid, and esteemed Almighty, who had given such authority to humans. Then, as Jesus passed by there, he noticed a human called Matthew, sitting in the tribute or tax office, and he said to him, "You must be continually following me." So he rose up and followed him. Now it occurred that as he was lying back at the table in the house, Matthew's, notice, many tribute or tax collectors and wrongdoers also came and began lying back at the table together with Jesus and his students. Then, when the Pharisees noticed it, they began saying to his students, Why is your teacher eating with tribute, tax collectors, and wrongdoers?" Now when he heard this, he said, "It isn't the ones who are strong who need a physician, but rather those who have an illness. Now you must go and learn what this means. I want mercy and not sacrifice." Hosea 6, verse 6. "For I didn't come to call those who are just, but those who are doing things that are wrong." Then the students of John came to him and said, "Why do we and the Pharisees fast, yet your students don't fast?" Jesus said to them, "The friends of the bridegroom can't mourn as long as the bridegroom is with them, can they? Yet the days will come when the bridegroom shall be taken away from them, and then they will fast. Now no one is going to patch a patch of unshrunk cloth on an old outer garment, for the patch that fills it up is going to lift some of the outer garment itself, and the split is going to become worse. Nor are they going to drain fresh wine into old wineskins. Otherwise, the wineskins are definitely going to burst, and the wine is going to be spilled, and the wineskins are going to be destroyed. But they drain fresh wine into new wineskins, and both are preserved." As he was speaking about these things to them, notice, a certain chief approached and worshipped him, saying, "My daughter has just now completed her life, but come and place your hand on her, and she will live." So Jesus got up, and he and his students began following him. Now notice, a woman who had been hemorrhaging or discharging blood for 12 years approached from behind and touched the tassel of his outer garment. For she was saying in herself, "If I can only touch his outer garment, I will be saved from my illness." Now Jesus turned and noticed her and said, "You must have courage, daughter. Your faith has saved you from your illness." And the woman was saved from her illness from that hour. Then, when Jesus came to the chief's house, he noticed the flutists and the crowd making a turmoil. And he began saying, "You must depart, for the girl hasn't died, but is lying down asleep." Then they began ridiculing him. Now when the crowd had been put out, he entered and took hold of her hand, and the girl woke up. Now the fame of this went out into all of that land. Then, as Jesus passed on from there, 2 blind persons followed him, yelling out and saying, "Have mercy on us, Son of David!" Now when he went into the house, the blind persons came to him. Then Jesus said to them, "Do you believe that I am able to do this?" They said to him, "Yes, Master." Then he touched their eyes and said, "It must occur for you according to your faith." And their eyes were opened. And Jesus grumbled to them, saying, "You must see that you let no one know about this." Yet they went out and affirmed about him far and wide, all over that land. Now as they went out, notice, they brought to him a mute person, possessed by a demon. Then the demon was thrown out, and the mute person spoke. And the crowds marveled, saying, "Never has anything like this appeared in Israel." Yet the Pharisees were saying, "He is throwing out the demons by the chief of the demons, Satan." Jesus was leading them around all the cities and the villages, teaching in their assemblies, and proclaiming the good message about the kingdom, and curing every disease and ailment. Now he noticed the crowds and felt compassion for them, because they were being bothered and tossed about like sheep without a shepherd. Then he said to his students, The harvest on the one hand is large, yet on the other hand the workers are few. So then, you must petition the master of the harvest to put out workers into his harvest.